When it comes to content, I feel the biggest mistake people make is thinking that people care about them. People are very selfish when it comes to their social media time. If it doesn't entertain me or interest me, then why would I listen? I never mention my brand. I don't even know if I've even spoken about it once on a TikTok video, and I die to get to the meeting so I can ask the question, where did you come from? My first couple of videos were awful. I didn't get a lead for 3 months, but if I stopped because I felt uncomfortable, and if I stopped because I didn't get a lead in the first 3 months, I would never have sort of built what I've built.
With over 300 leads in his first 12 months in business and 0 ad spend, absolutely all organic, today we are going to be sitting down with Dion Marsden from Marsden Buyers Agents to pick out exactly how he leverages social media as a lead magnet for his business. He runs his own podcast. He's been featured in realestate.com.au ads. And today we get to pick his brain on all things social media.
And welcome, a good friend of yours as well.
And a good friend. Thanks for being here, Dion.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
So I want to first get started with how you actually went about starting the business, because the business is relatively new. It's 1.5 years old.
Yeah, not even. It's a really sort of interesting story. When I started the business too, I wasn't really even planning on it. And I sort of just got thrown into it, like I guess a lot of people would. And I mean, we're going to talk about socials today, but we can talk a little bit about building the business as well. I didn't necessarily have like this is 100% where I'm going to get my leads from going into it. The industry I work in is extremely niche. Buyer agents maybe make up 2 to 3% of all transactions. So there's a lot of people that don't even know we exist, which means it's a massive unknown. Like you can't really rely on a certain amount of potential clients to come or anything like that. And going into it, I had no idea what would get that sort of 2 to 3% of the market to even consider my services. And so I sort of just went in, I was like, I'm just going to try to target a whole bunch of things, and whatever gets me the most amount of traction, I'll just sort of put more time and energy into. And so that was, about 1 year and a bit ago. And business has been really good. To be completely honest, my first couple of months was pretty dry, but I think that's most businesses at the start. I started to build, my networks out and whatnot, but then it's snowballing and things are getting quite busy, and it's scary. Like I'm in such an unknown territory at the moment where looking to hire, looking for offices. I've got Haley that works for me as well. She saves my life daily. Momentum's great, and social media and what we're talking about today has a large part to play in that. So
when you first started the business, I remember you just touched on it then. You rang me like week 2, week 3, week 4 going, I don't have any leads. I don't have any leads. Where am I going to get clients from? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You were setting up funnels. You were reaching out to, you're doing cold outreach, reaching out to mortgage brokers, I believe it was, and trying to basically set up referral networks.
Correct.
How did that process go? And then I suppose what led you down the social media route?
Yeah. So because I didn't know what would work for me, I sort of diversified where I was trying to get my leads from. So I was like, my first couple hours of every day, I'm going to sit and I'm going to call through mortgage brokers. And then it was like, I'm going to do maybe 2 hours of social media stuff. I mean, there's only so much social media stuff you can do. Then I was speaking to real estate agents. I was trying to speak to my personal network and trying to do like Google ads and like SEO stuff. It's all about sort of working out what I think could get me leads. And you're right, like at the start, like because I was setting up the funnels and setting that side of my business up, I wouldn't even call social media funnel, but I guess it technically is, because I was setting all of that up. None of it was really working straight away. And we'll talk about this, I'm sure, in a little bit as well. But I think a lot of people, when they don't see instant success in a funnel, it's like, cool, move on. And I was sort of very tempted to move on pretty quick from most of my funnels, but because none of them were really working for me, I had no choice but to continue going through with them, because I knew I'd get a lead eventually from it. So there was a lot of cold outreach at the start, just calling mortgage brokers, introducing myself, but they don't know me. And because previously, like I hadn't been running my own business, I'd never really been the main person in the business before. So they didn't know who I was. I didn't really have any credibility. Like even the real estate agents, it's like, why me? Why would you refer to me when, there's probably another 2 to 3 other buyer agents that they've got in their personal network that they could refer to. So it was really difficult early on trying to get some momentum with the funnels. And the first couple of weeks it was pretty dry. Like the tap was definitely turned off. It wasn't flowing.
So then that's happening. At what point do you actually go down the social media route? Was it like someone suggested it to you? Was it purely like, I just need some leads, so I'm going to try absolutely
I've
everything.
got nothing else during my day to do.
You weren't particular, like you've been a real estate agent, you were an auctioneer. You were never really into social media.
No, I'm a very private person. Like I have social media, I enjoy social media, but I've never been one to really post. Like I'd put up the odd family vacation or going out for dinner with my wife. Like that's the extent of my social media posting. And to be completely honest, I'm very active in it. If I love social media is even another question. Like I enjoy like elements of it. But I speak to a lot of people and they're like, oh, social media, it's just not for me. But I think that sort of has to change, especially nowadays in business. I'm sure, again, we'll talk about more about that later as well. Like my social media is my LinkedIn page. That's how I look at things. So, I didn't love doing social media. I didn't want to, but I knew other people had success in it. And hopefully some people listening to this will probably have heard of this elusive success you can get from social media and go, like, well, how do I get it? Because I feel like I post every day for years and haven't got anything from it. And I knew it could work. It was just working out how to make it work. And so I just sort of put together a bit of a strategy before I did start the business on this is what I was going to do. This is what was going to be different to other people that were doing it. And I'd seen other people have great success with it. So I thought, well, if I do similar but put my own spin on it, then surely I'll have some sort of success. And thankfully, I have had success from it.
So run me through which platforms are you actually actively on?
So TikTok is where I'd spend 70-80% of my time, maybe 10 or 20% so on Instagram, and maybe it's the rest is split between the others, and probably should use and rely on some of the others. But I'm also a big believer on if something's working, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. So no Facebook?
No.
No. So LinkedIn, yes?
Yeah.
Yep. Do you post?
Rarely.
What do you post on your LinkedIn?
Every couple of months I'll post. This has been the last couple of months,
Mm-hmm.
And that's more of just a formality, really, more than anything. It doesn't. I haven't got any leads from LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just to sort of keep it active.
And I would say you're most actively on Instagram and TikTok.
Yep.
Because I know you, and we'll get into it, you track all of your leads,
Yep.
where they came from, what the source was. How would you say Instagram compares to TikTok? Because you put the same content on there, or do you vary it up?
I sometimes vary, but I tend to put the same on both. And I think as well, like even just quickly, I mean, working out what platforms work for you depends on who you're targeting. I think that's really important to sort of put in there too. Like I'm younger, probably one of the younger buyer agents running their own business, so I knew naturally that a lot of my clientele would be probably first home buyers. And professional couples rather than downsizers. Downsizers are more likely to find me on Facebook, so I'm probably not going to put a whole lot of time into a platform that I don't feel is going to net me my type of client, my typical client.
Yep.
And that's why I picked Instagram and TikTok as sort of my platforms to post on. Sorry, I went on a little rant there and I forgot your question.
That's all right. You covered it, which is basically how do you decide?
Oh, yeah, the differences in what I post. I mean, because TikTok is what works for me the most, like I focus all my content for that. And I know that Instagram doesn't love my content for TikTok as much, but it still works, just not to the same sort of standard as it does on TikTok. Unfortunately, I'm in a position where I just don't have time to sort of cater for both. And that's obviously why I'm looking to hire and why the business is looking to grow, so I can sort of do TikTok content and then do Instagram content. It's content that I know works for both platforms because they I find that Insta prefers slightly more professional, whereas TikTok is definitely more like authentic, organic platform. And that content where you just pick up a phone, speak for 2 minutes and post it will do better than if you post that on Instagram.
So this leads me down the rabbit hole of you've decided on TikTok and you've decided on Instagram because that's where your target audience is. How do you then determine what content you wanted to post?
Yeah. So I think, and like again, this is just my opinion on things and everyone's going to have their own sort of take on it, but I know this is what works for me. When it comes to content, I feel the biggest mistake people make is thinking that people care about them. Like I know a large part of the people that watch my social media care more about what the content actually is rather than me giving the content. One of the things within my business or sort of my plan when it comes to social media is to never talk about my brand. I never mention my brand. I don't even know if I've even spoken about it once on a TikTok video. It doesn't matter. Your social brand is more important. People look at you rather than your brand. I'm Dion from Marsden Buyer Agents, but most people only get the first half, which is I'm Dion. And so I'm not sitting there introducing myself on videos saying, hi, I'm Dion from Marsden Buyers Agents. I work here, and this is my ideal client. And now here's content for you. So when it comes to content and what I plan to do, it was always informational because I knew people would get something from it. And I knew people really just don't sort of care too much about me in the nicest way possible. The great thing is sort of I'm probably at a stage now where there's a lot of people that do listen, that do care and are interested in the business. And I've built that. But at the beginning, when you've got 0 followers, why does someone care what you have to say, or why does someone care what you're posting unless there's a benefit to them? People are very selfish when it comes to their social media time. Very selfish. If it doesn't entertain me or interest me, then why would I listen? And so I think it's the mistake people make is when they start to post videos that the average person that has no idea about you would actually have no interest in. It's like if you see friends get engaged. My brother-in-law is filming this content here. When I saw that he got engaged on social media, I cared because I knew him. But if I saw some random get engaged on social media, I wouldn't really have any care about them. So when it comes to content, it's all about considering who you're targeting, your audience, understanding that if you're looking for leads, they're most likely going to be someone you don't know, and then making sure that your content's not actually personal about yourself or about your business. It's more actually about what might help that individual. And so my content's been educational based, heavy on education, how to buy property, videos on what to say to agents, how to make offers, mistakes buyers make at auctions. And I make that content, I post every day. And there's a significant difference between educational videos I post and videos I post about like a day in my life. I do have people that watch the day in the life stuff, but my views will pretty much be 5, 6, 10 times as good on educational stuff because people are selfish. That's what they care about. And once they've got the information from me, they'll scroll on, move on, and so be it. I might never see them again.
I was going to ask that question because I was curious to know if the day in the life stuff was performing, because it's interesting. I will watch a day in the life of like a firefighter, for example, just because I'm curious. I have no idea how that industry works, so it'll pique my interest.
Correct.
But the content that you would say converts better is when you're actually educating the person.
The day in the life stuff works for industries I feel that aren't looking for leads.
Yep.
So like a firefighter, it's not as if they're looking for it's not as if they're looking for houses that are burning and that's why they're posting day in the lives. You know what I mean? It's more just out of interest. But the reality is when we're doing socials for an aspect of lead gen, which is why I first started social media for lead gen. That's why I did it. Because as I said from the start, it's not something I'd naturally would fall into and love. Over time, it's actually developed. I thoroughly enjoy the community I've built. It's actually something I never thought I would enjoy as much. And that's why I do it, because I love that. That content doesn't perform as well. But I've been lucky enough to sort of build an audience over time that people that sort of watch me and then sort of enjoy my content then might go, oh, you know what, I'll see what he does during his day. I think the best example to use is sort of gym influencers. And a lot of them have a lifespan in their content. And this is something that I'm actively trying to work out how I fix the solution for it, which is the fact that they can tell you what to eat and they can sort of tell you the workouts to do. Once you've worked out what to eat, once you've worked out the workouts, you're probably not going to go back to them unless they're engaging. So they get you in with the information and education, which is how to eat better, maybe like some meal prep, some workouts and what to do. That's how they get you in. But then while they've got you, they have to try retain you because the information they give is only going to last so long. Just as the information I give, buyers will purchase a property eventually. And if I'm only ever doing educational stuff, they will then tune out. And so my goal is to get them in on information. And that's why I do day in the life stuff, to try keep them, to try still keep my social brand active and those people still engaged with my content.
So how do you find that when you have, obviously you've got a topic, which is buying property, just like the gym, I imagine you go through every idea that you can possibly think of. And after a while, you almost feel like I'm back at the start. I need to start rehashing content, maybe not reposting the same video, but remaking the same video in a different way. How do you find that process?
I have reposted videos, and if I'm away for a couple of days and don't have time to film, I will repost. And to be honest, sometimes it does just as well. But I do find recreating the video with a different twist on it is where it can help. And so then you start to work out after a while what will do good and what won't do good. So videos that might be a really good idea filmed incorrectly, if filmed correctly, can be a really good video. The idea can be good, but it's sort of a trial by failing. Like you got to sort of see what works, what doesn't. And so I sort of go back to my videos that might have only got a couple thousand views, and it's like, okay, it's a great topic. Why did it not perform better? And then I'll refilm it potentially maybe with a bit of a hook at the start. Like I might start the video originally by saying, oh, these are a couple problems people have at auctions, and I might refilm it by saying, here's 3 mistakes buyers are making at auctions, and the last one might be something you've never considered. And so I try to put a better catch in there because I know that content works because I've done other videos with auction mistakes and they work. So it's not the idea, it's potentially not the content, it's actually also how I filmed it. And so sort of there's only so much to talk about when it comes to buying a property. And so it's difficult to continue to come up with ideas, but you might do a 10 mistakes video, then you might do 3 videos on 3 mistakes, which are part of the 10 mistakes. And you just got to sort of try to recreate it as much as possible.
You mentioned that you might refilm something with a hook. Have you noticed there's a direct correlation between how many views a video gets and how many clients will specifically come off it? Or do you find sometimes you get a client from a random video that actually didn't perform that well?
Again, it's sort of why I think everyone's content needs to sort of have multiple pillars, because the first ever client I actually purchased for, I asked at the end and I said, I know you came from TikTok, but if you don't mind me asking, like, what video sort of prompted you to reach out? And they were like, oh, it was actually your day in the life video, and you said you wanted to, film the audio at the office rather than at the property instead of walking through talking while I was there. Because I said in the video, oh, I'm too embarrassed to do it in person, so I'm filming it after. And that little comment to them sort of made them relate to me. And that's, as strange as it is, that's what prompted them to reach out. You never really know what creates someone to reach out. And that's why if you sort of vary your content as much as possible while sort of keeping it all very similar, you give yourself many opportunities to sort of grab that buyer. Again, education's what works for me, but if I never did that day in the life video, they may never have related to me. They may never have reached out. So look, when it comes to views and sort of the conversion rate, I would say a good educational video every 15,000 views will probably convert a meeting booked. But I only last week had my first video hit over 1 million views, and it would have netted me no clients, but that's me bidding at auction, and that's more of an entertaining video rather than an educational video. So again, like, it's just different videos have different likelihood of converting clients. And sometimes I'll post a video on a Friday night and go, I'm pretty confident this will book me a meeting over the weekend.
Let's change the pace. So let's say someone is already smashing their social media content. They're getting lots of views. Everything's going on. What do you do from a business systems and processes perspective to help actually ascertain that the client that you've signed up came from TikTok or Instagram? Like, is it just questions when you're speaking to them? Do you have specific programs that you use, or like a funnel process? How does that work?
Yeah, I think working out where your clients come from is really important, because then you know where to invest money and time. And if you're not capturing where your clients are coming from, it's concerning. And to be honest, I have an other option when people book in the meeting. They can select other, and I hate it when people do that. And I die to get to the meeting so I can ask the question, where did you come from, if you don't mind me asking? To book a meeting, and I require you to let me know where you came from. And then a secondary form goes out automated, which again asks the question, because my first option says Google, but there's multiple areas on Google they can come from. So the second form asks again, so I can work out what's working. Is it SEO? Is it referral pages? Is it Google My Business? Did they look up a blog specifically? Where did they come from? Because then again, like, you can work it out. So I don't have an option just for social media. I have an option for TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I want to know, or if they pick other, then I ask them on the phone call, like, oh, if you don't mind me asking, where did you find us from? And even if they came from socials, I'm sometimes curious and go, what prompted you to reach out? And quite often people have been watching the videos and trying to implement what I've been doing or recommending to do, and then they've missed out one too many times, and suddenly they come back around because I'm their trusted advisor, even though I've never met them before. I'm their trusted advisor that they get information from. So that's where it can be really powerful. But working out where your leads come from is important, because if I have to post one video and I only have time to do one video, well, I'm always going to do TikTok, because that's my highest likelihood to capture a client, rather than going and posting on Facebook and spending time there, and Instagram and spending time there, and LinkedIn and spending time there, and wasting time posting on YouTube too. It's like I know TikTok works, so if I've got 30 minutes, I'm going to post a video, then I'll put it on TikTok.
Yep. So you're looking purely for the highest return on your time and then going down that route.
Spot on. And for me, that's what I love about TikTok, is that I don't advertise at all. This is all just organic reach, which it also comes into the equation. Like if you're sort of blasting money on Facebook ads and all of that, then you also have to factor that into the equation. So I'm very fortunate where I don't pay much for any of my social media, yet it's sort of one of my biggest lead generators. So yeah, that's factored into the equation. It's like, well, it's free and it does the best.
Have you tried doing like call to actions in a video specifically? And if so, have you found that they work or don't work? For example, DM me the word first home buyer, or like, you know what I mean, whatever sort of call to action you want to do.
Yeah. My whole thing with my branding is complete transparency. I personally feel call to actions can be really salesy and people don't like being sold to. So the whole thing with my business is complete transparency. I want everyone to have as much information as possible before booking in the meeting. I see a lot of like message this or DM this or click here or sign up for this for this course or this PDF file. And obviously it works because people wouldn't do it if it didn't work. But my clients are so red hot in terms of in the sign up process by the time they come to me, because all the information is there. And I have a lot of scrutiny from people that say to me like, oh, you give up too much, like you say too much before people actually sign up. And I probably lose a lot of clients that I've never ever spoken to because I've given up a lot of information for free and they just never come knocking. But I would much rather be efficient with my time and have someone give all the information for free and then have someone come and book in a meeting with me, because I know that they're going to be red hot. But what people like is the fact that I'm not sitting there selling anything to them. All my information's free. Like my TikTok is pretty much exactly how to buy a property. You don't need me. All my TikTok videos explain how to do it. I explain my fees. My fees are on my website, complete transparency. I'm super transparent about my business, where I buy. Like I give everyone all the information. I rarely do call to actions. Like I might say, look, if you need help, let me know. But even doing that, like that would be unlikely that I would actually post a video doing that. And I think that personally actually works more because I'm not selling anything to anyone. I'm just a friend talking to the screen, through the screen to them and advising them. Like if you're chatting to a mate and you ask them advice on something, if I called you up and said, hey mate, how would I film this? And you ended the conversation by saying something super cheesy like, and book a call, with me and we're mates chatting on the phone, I'd think you're an idiot. Like, why are you talking to me like that? So that's how I look at all my content. I'm just a friend chatting to people and telling them how to do stuff. And eventually someone will buy it because they need help. And when they do, they're super red hot and my conversion rate's pretty high.
People probably look at your social media and be like, Dion absolutely loves pumping out the videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like he enjoys doing the content. Do you enjoy doing the content?
It gets to 4:00 most days and I haven't posted something like today. Like I think we've filmed this at like 4:00. I haven't filmed anything today. And in the back of my head, I know I need to post something. My number one priority in the business is the clients that I'm working. But it's hard to avoid that the number one priority for lead generation is posting something every day. So I don't love posting. Like I have sort of got past the embarrassment phase, which I think a lot of people struggle to get past. Like at the start, like people are like, oh, I've seen you posting stuff, or like, it's good. And I feel like everything's a backhanded compliment, or keep doing it, mate. Good stuff. And I'm like, oh, like it's a bit cringe. I've got past that. And now that I'm past it, I can sort of see how powerful it is. And I think obviously because I know it works for me and people know it works for me, I feel like I can get past that. I don't love it, but I love the community I've built. That to me is probably the more important thing, is sort of I have people within my comments that will answer the questions that other people put in there. And I love that. Like that's the stuff I love, or just conversations in there, or me being able to pass out my building and pest inspectors details or my conveyancer details. Like I'll speak to them. Like that's the community. That's what I love. I get a little bit of hate on there, so I don't love that. But no, I don't love posting every day, but I know how it is sort of the bare minimum. It's today's expectation that if you're going to have your own business, you need to post consistently. Most of my clients, like I'll have a conversation with and chat to them, and then as the ones that don't come from social media, like the ones that come from Google, I'll say, look, hey, by the way, if you've got 5 minutes, you should look at my TikTok and my Instagram. Like I've got videos of me bidding at auctions. I've got videos of me explaining things, and it'll be very beneficial to you. So I use it as sort of a LinkedIn page as well. Like, hey, look at my socials. And if you send that to someone and you haven't posted in 3 months, you're going to look really silly. So that's why I think it's so powerful, social media, if you're active, because it shows you consistent and it shows you diligent.
What was the process like for you actually getting comfortable on camera?
I filmed a lot of videos I didn't post to begin with. I look back at my first couple of videos and I want to delete them so bad. I think most people do. It's sort of just do it, to be honest.
Force yourself to go to the
force
gym
yourself.
the first time.
Just put on. I don't think anyone's picked up a camera. Maybe some people have, don't get me wrong, and gone, this is my name and this is what I do. And they graded it to begin with. Like my first couple of videos were awful. I didn't get a lead for 3 months. So I think that talks about how awful the videos were to begin with. But if I stopped because I felt uncomfortable, and if I stopped because I didn't get a lead in the first 3 months, I would never have sort of built what I've built. And look, that might all fall off tomorrow, and that's fine if it does, but it's been great for me over the last 12 months. And I can't think of another way to accelerate the growth of a business like social media. It's unheard of. No one comes to me and asks, how long have you been a buyer's agent for? Or how long have you been in business for? Those questions don't get asked when people come from socials, because they trust me and they've built rapport with me already, and I haven't spoken to them before. Whereas if I get a lead from Google, they're sort of quizzing me because they don't know me.
So you just mentioned that you filmed a lot of videos at the start that you never actually posted.
Yep.
Was it good to get the practice up of just filming it?
Yep.
Did you film them knowing you weren't going to put them out, or did you decide after you'd filmed them, no, this is terrible?
After I filmed them, this is awful. I think the first couple I had every intention of posting. I could just never bring myself to doing it. But I remember reading at the time that you can't expect to do something for the first time and expect to be an expert at it. And that's so true. Like with social media, you're only going to improve every single video you do. Like I can pick a video up now and film something in 5 minutes and post it if I need to. Whereas I couldn't do something less than an hour when I first began. Like you naturally edit videos better. No different to you when you started this business. Like compared to now, you edit videos better. You'll present better.
My videos were fantastic from the beginning.
You never had any problems. You never had any problems. It just naturally become better. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to film these, and until I feel like one is at a level that I'm happy to sort of post, then I'm not going to post it. And that's pretty much what I did. I just got a whole bunch in the drafts that I never posted. But by the time I posted my first one, it was probably as if I'd filmed and done them for about 2 to 3 weeks, which definitely sort of made it not as embarrassing as it potentially could have been.
So it sounds to me like you're posting daily, because you said every day you get to 4 o'clock and you think, I haven't posted today.
Yep.
So you're posting daily. Does the amount of people that come through from social as leads differ dramatically? Do you get some months where you might get, say, 5 people, but then another month where you get no one? Or is it sort of a consistent flow of, I post this much, therefore roughly I get X amount of people reaching out?
Yeah, it's a good question. Over Christmas, my wife and I headed away, and I didn't post any socials. I was meant to sort of put a whole lot of videos in the drafts, and I never did. And I got nothing from it. If you're not active, your videos aren't going to get recommended. Whereas I find that the more active I am, then videos well back, even 6 months ago, are still getting views and likes and comments. So I find the more activity generates more activity, which is a bit of a given. So just try to stay active on it. Try to keep posting, because you might your most recent video might find someone who then finds your content and then goes back and watches a video from 6 months ago. So that's why I find it so important just to sort of keep on it. A lot of people find it hard to be consistent, but again, it sort of just needs to be a staple, something you do every day in your business. Or once a week. I know some people do a content day. I don't love doing that, because I find a lot of my videos come to me during the day, something that'll happen. I'll do a video on this, or someone will comment something and I'll answer the question. So I don't like to sort of do a content day, but I love to do content, I will do content sort of every day when something pops up that I'm like, that is something that I think people find engaging. I try to think of the audience that doesn't care about me. If you don't care about me, you will find this probably still interesting, even if you don't know who I am or my name or my business or anything like that. Which also gets me into another point, which is, this is my 2 cents. I think personal pages do a lot better than business pages.
Expand on that. So you're brand as Marsden Buyers Agents. Have you got a page for both?
Yep. So I've got a page on Instagram for my Marsden Buyer Agents account, but and again, it just comes back to what people actually care about watching. My business page is happy photos of people in front of sold boards, and that is not there to generate leads. And I think this is the problem that people have, is understanding what content actually generates leads. That's not lead generating content. That's content that people will go to my website, look on my Instagram and do research. And I need to have somewhere with a whole bunch of happy photos on socials and social proof. That's why I post those photos. I have an Instagram page, which is a property with Dion page. That's where I post a lot of my videos I film for TikTok, which then I decide to post on Instagram. That's where I post them, and that's a lead generating page. That's not a page for, family to check in to see what I'm doing. That's a page where I post videos about how to buy a property, and those videos every intention of sort of building that page, building my social brand. And my TikTok, I don't have a Marsden Buyer Agent page because people don't care about pages. If people don't care about people, they're definitely not going to care about the business you run. So I personally find that I'm just going to put my face, like my account's Dion Marsden, and my username, my username's Dion Marsden, my account name's Dion Marsden Buyers Agent, so people know what I do. But I just post a photo of my face as my profile photo, and it's all about sort of me. There's no mention of my brand at all on my TikTok, because again, 99% of people couldn't care less where I work, what I do. They just want the selfish information that they can extract from the video, which is absolutely fine. I'm here to give it. And I honestly wish them all the best with the information I give. But it's for the 1% that then do go through and actually do care. They will click onto my link and then they can find more information if they want. But I'd much rather build a platform that is going to have 99% of people that kind of don't really care too much about me, but are just interested in what I have to say, and 1% of people that will then, which will be a higher quantity, which do care, rather than having a smaller page that has maybe 50% of people that actually care about what I do, because I find you'll over time get more reach if you sort of are consistent and have greater reach. That 1% or grow more than that 50% ever could.
As we wrap up, Dion, how do people decide? Basically, what I want to ask is, you mentioned before about the personal page and you want people to feel like they know you. You want to be talking like you're a friend. A lot of people suggest posting your personal life mixed in with your work life. Yep. Your pages, correct me if I'm wrong, are majority pretty much all work related and that sort of stuff. So you found, although you're running a personal page, being Property with Dion, it's not...
it's not personal life. And to be honest, it's something I'm working on. Like I don't know everything. Like, and I'm the first to say, like, with my content, honestly, there's so many people that know so much more. It's just what I know that works for me. This year's goal, or sort of the goals in the next 12 months, is to sort of build probably more of, like, at the moment, there's definitely the property with part of the page. There's plenty of property, but I want to build the Dion side of the page. I want to build sort of my personal social brand up more. And that's why I've actually started to implement more vlogging. Like, I'm trying to vlog more about, this is a day in my life. Like, come with me. I'm trying to bid at a couple properties today. Come with me. I'm trying to implement that content more. I think, again, this sort of loops back into the fact that I'm not a big sort of public life person. Like, I'm very private. Like, we live in myself, keep our lives very sort of... private. Our accounts are mostly private. I've only just recently made my personal page public, but we don't sort of have that on display for everyone to see. So it's sort of like a personal thing where I struggle to sort of share as much as I should, but I know sharing more only works. I know plenty of successful people in this industry that share a lot on their work pages, and it makes people feel like they know what's going on. Like, I know people's dogs' names and I've never met their dog before. I know what people enjoy doing, or their partner's names, or all these, or their hobbies, and I've never ever met them even sometimes. So it obviously works, because then I've built some sort of a relationship with the person on the videos that I'm watching. So I know it definitely works because it works on me. It's something I'm trying to improve. Like, I need to have more sort of personal stuff as well. Again, the education content is to get people onto the page, but I need to retain them. And I think people having a relationship with the person they watch is going to only increase the likelihood of retaining those people. So for me, that's something I'm trying to improve this year, like more personal stuff. I've got to just get over that thing that's holding me back from sharing it. And I think that will only help grow the page more.
If someone wants to stalk you, basically, check out all the videos you're doing, how you do your content, so they can try and apply that to their business or get some hot property tips, because that's always good.
Or what's a good buyer agent?
Shameless plug. What's the best place for them to go to find your stuff?
TikTok would be the best place to look, which sounds crazy. My LinkedIn's not like updated as much as it should be, and my Instagram you can look at too. But like if you want to sort of see me consistently post videos and sort of see my idea of how I generate leads, and my TikTok, which is Dion Marsden, is the best place to find me. But don't click on any of the fake crypto remakes of my account. There's a couple out there.
You're not legitimately selling the crypto.
I'm not
on the
selling
side?
crypto courses on the side. So
Sure you're not.
yeah, sure. That's what I say anyway. So, but yeah, look, hopefully people find this helpful. I mean, I think like if you don't mind me, I'm just taking this off the cuff, but I think if people sort of just avoid introducing themselves at the start of every video and are just them and give good quality content that you got to think about the person that doesn't know you will actually care about, then you will always be successful with social media. It doesn't matter who you are, how old you are. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm too old to do it," and it's like that's not true. If you give really good content, if you're engaging, people will always watch it. So just give it a go. And if you need help, like a service like yours, for example, this isn't something we spoke about. You haven't given me any cash to say this, but if you feel like you can't film your own content, you need someone to sort of help you through the process. You're silly to not engage someone like you, like to have someone guide you through how to present, how to say things, or you should present to the camera like this. It's sort of, it's a bare minimum to be in social medias at the moment, bare minimum. And you have to find your way to do it. If it's by yourself or if it's with someone like yourself, you need to do it.
Dion, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Appreciate all that insight.